There is so much to talk about. We had a firing that finished up September 29th in the Stoneware Kill, and then we went off to Castle Hill and made more pots for next year, but brought back salt glaze. And then after that, we did another firing here. So I'm just going to go walk around the room and talk about all the pieces. These are some bottles, bottle vases. I have no idea how well this is showing up with this kind of camera. This is a Sato vase that came out of this last firing. When I say Sato, I mean an iron-bearing clay that's being attacked by wood ashes. And here's sort of one of my favorite kind of Korean shapes. And a pear bottle. And then another vase down there. And all of Ben's beautiful, these are pots that Ben made that were fired at Castle Hill. So we have this ongoing friendship with Castle Hill Center for the Arts. And we make pots and they glaze them. But I'm going to go up here and start with the stoneware pieces. So, let's see, I'll go up here. Again, I have no idea how this is going to come out with the camera, but these are the more drippy glaze that's kind of yellower is, we call it Sato. The one in the middle there's an Albany slip pot. Here's a porcelain of Rajiv Surendra's, who's coming to visit very soon. And then, oh, this is sort of cool. We have a bowl that our friend Simon Leach made when he came from Spain to think about moving to the United States. And I just finally got it into a kiln. The pots behind it are a tamba glaze. We call a more refractory iron-bearing clay attacked by wood ashes that's not as drippy and is gray or browner. We call that a tamba, very much like the sake bottles that come from that district near Kyoto. But it's a wonderful, wonderful glaze. This particular one is done with an antique material called Blackbird or Barnard clay, again being attacked by wood ashes. And then here's a salt glazed bowl. We did salt glaze. I'll show you a whole batch of that when we were at Castle Hill. All right. So here we have some larger pots, stoneware. So much fun. These bigger ones were made in two sections and joined together. This one, I mean, you can see the line where the join was. But when you fire clay at white hot with these natural materials, iron-bearing clays and then, alkalines, there's nothing like it. There's just nothing like it. The one in the corner here is true Albany river slip, and then with some other things sort of splashed on it. And then down below some more, slightly smaller pots. Well, in the back there's two that I really like, two of the Satos. And this little one here, that is a combination of both Tamba and then Sato on top, which I think is just lovely. So we're going to go around and look up above here. I've been trying to do these Korean style, pear wine bottles that I just love the originals. You watch one of those adventure movies from Korea and they show, a nobleman in 12th century drinking pear wine. Mostly those are in Celadon. These darker ones are in Albany slip and tomba. And then below, there's a few pieces in porcelain with celadons on them. And then lots of more vases. And then down below, there's a little bit of redware now when you do crockery, American crockery in the Soda Glazed, in the South, it's called tobacco spit. But it's literally the same thing. And then, when you're firing, sometimes things get too violent. Down below this bottom shelf are seconds. But they're wonderful pots. It's just, maybe their birth was a little too violent. So I'm going to go around the shop to get to where the salt glaze is. Lots and lots of red pots. Ben's gray pots. And then as we go around, I'm going to go past the white ones, which are kind of our most popular here. And here's a batch of Ben's pots made at Castle Hill. And some of them were made here and then glazed at Castle Hill, and I don't know which are which. But these are... Oh, and there's also... Ben has done some Cone 6 work in his own shop, which is what these bowls are. Isn't that nice, that green? I think these two vases on the outside are rather... The glaze makes them look rather Egyptian. Okay, we're going to go over to the salt glaze, and this stuff is just... So, salt glazing, they've just built a soda kiln at Castle Hill. And so what happens is you bring the pots all the way up to white hot, and then you throw baking soda, into the furnace, which volatilizes into a soda glass. So in looking at these are the shape of these. In the 19th century, the straight ones were called butter pots. I have some flattened flasks there as well. And then I'm going to go down and start over here. Here are some apothecaries. A milk pan sitting up. Milk pan is, you put milk into a big bowl like that and then slake off the cream. And when you slake off the cream, you put it into a cream pot, which is what that is in the back. Well, this is too, but it's a smaller one. I'm going to go on this shelf since I started looking at it. So these are all salt glaze pieces here, up to the beginning of the white pots, and then I'll go to this shelf. Usually I do, a photo of each pot, but we have, hundreds at this point. So I love this one flower pot. And then I'm just going to go back up here, and I'm going to end with this. So I know I'm not very good at... I think I'll show you these. This is some flower pots that I made out of stoneware. And then Erica made some beakers. And then the next shelf down are some really lovely mugs that my wife Erica made. There's a big white pot in the middle of them, but it can go like that, I guess. And then we have some vases in salt. The one that's white is because it was right where the salt was thrown into the furnace. And then for the fun of it, I did some 12th century jugs, what are called baluster jugs. I just thought it'd be fun to do in red clay some, 12th, 13th century pots. Okay, I'm going to end with that. I hope everyone's well. Nice old banjo that somebody gave me from 1881. That gives me something to do. And I'm going to say my goodbyes. Thanks, everybody, for having a look at this. Okay, bye.